Bill, talk about last week taking 3 or 4 down in St. Cloud there, and you did get shut out to one game. But overall, what's your thoughts looking back to last weekend?
I thought we played better defensively, which was we've kind of been working on going into that weekend. We had a couple of errorless games and looked a lot better. We ran into a buzzsaw that third game. The girl from Bemidji looked real good. She's about 6'3", and she was bringing it pretty well. We had a lot of strikeouts, and probably when we see her again, we're going to have to maybe bunt and be a little bit more selective and try and get on her. But other than that one game, we played pretty well. We hit the ball and had some timely hitting, and we played good defense and spread our innings out among 4 pitchers. We're still trying to baby a couple of our kids along that are hurting a little bit, and we got through the weekend anyway, 4 games, and did pretty well.
Offensively, how fun was that finale there in St. Cloud where you think you guys cracked out with 15 runs?
Yeah, that was a game where everybody just put it together. In fact, we played all 15 of our players. I was down to no subs left. Of course, you can re-enter any starter in softball with the rules, but after about 3 innings, we got everybody else in the game, and even the girls that were coming in were doing a good job and getting good at bats. So it's good for team morale when everybody can get in the game on a trip like that and have some fun and score some runs, and it was good for the whole team that game. We hit several balls hard that were also caught. I mean, we were just having good at bats, but I think a lot of that has to do with the pitcher previously that shut us out. I mean, when you face something that's 62, 63 and just coming in there, and then you play a whole game of that, and then you play another team whose pitcher's 55, 56, it's a lot different. We used to have 2 pitchers here that were very good. Mandy Greenberg threw real hard, and Tiffany Friesen was also a great pitcher at the same time. And we kind of figured out that sometimes it's better to pitch Tiffany first, so she has an advantage, and then bring Greenberg in for the next game, because if you pitch Greenberg first and then bring Tiff in, they were kind of getting, a sights on Mandy, and then it was easier to hit Tiff. So I think that second game on Sunday had a lot to do with the first game. So it can work that way, and especially in the Northern Sun, you play all double headers. You play 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, 2 Wednesday, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, and it goes on through the season like that. So the order of you throw your pitcher is sometimes very important.
Coach, just wondering what some of your objectives are coming up in this Florida trip, another early season set of games, some new opponents. You don't have conference foes. I mean, what do you want to really get accomplished with that stretch of games?
Well, we just want to get game action and see a lot of pitches. We've got about 6 girls right now on our lineup that are getting pretty steady, and we need to get a couple of the other players going a little bit, and we hope to get our pitchers healthy by then. If they're not, our 3 and 4 pitchers, Ramirez and Prigge, are going to see a lot of action. Most importantly, is our conference season. But on this trip, we've got 2 games 3 days in a row, and we have a day off, and then we have a single game after that day off, and then 2 more. So we've got 9 games, and that's a lot of innings to be putting on your pitching staff. So hopefully we can get through it and get some wins down there.
How about your competition? The teams you're going to run into down there?
Now they're all East Coast and Mid-Eastern teams. We're playing a couple teams twice down there. We're playing Philadelphia University. We're playing Long Island and Bentley and teams that we've seen in the past. Some of them, they're all Division II schools. They know nothing about us, and we know nothing about them, which is kind of cool, really. So it's not like they know enough to walk this girl with first base open and stuff like that. We'll have the stats printed out in the dugout that every team up to that point. But still, it's a lot of fun to go on the road and play teams that don't know you and you don't know them, and just let it all hang out and do it on the field and get rolling. So we've always had very successful spring trips, and since we've gone D2, and I think that the caliber of softball in the Midwest and the West is superior to the East, and I've always felt that way, and we've proven it each year. So hopefully we can go down there and have another good trip.
Early returns on this team, Coach. You've got a few games under your belt. What are you pleased with? You've talked about getting better defensively, which you did this past week. I guess what are some other areas of improvement going forward, and what have you been pleased with?
I've been happy with replacing what we lost. You know, losing Allie Seigan at shortstop and her bat and what she gave us. She hit 3 for us. And losing Melissa Bell, those two were all conference players. And Lauren Cowden, freshman, has stepped into that 2 hole where Melissa Bell was. And I think she's hitting over 400, and she's going to be a really good player. And Rachel Burdette is hitting in the 3 hole. She's taken Seigan's spot, and it's just been a comfort as a coach because you got Ashley Hill sitting there in the 4 spot, who had a monster year as a freshman, and then Jordan Grant in the leadoff spot, who was all conference last year. So you go Grant, Cowden, Burdette, and Hill. You've got a pretty good start to an excellent lineup. And now Sarah Nix, we've made a couple adjustments on her swing. She had a great trip this weekend in 4 games. I think she probably led us in hits. She hit the ball off the wall about 3 times, just shots, and throwing her in the 5 hole now. And with hitting Cornejo 6th, you know, you're getting stretching that line out pretty good. So I'm very happy with replacing what we lost. And then now if we can get that 7, 8, 9 hole rolling a little bit, we're in a bit of a platoon situation at 9, you know, with Cabral and Carbajal and who's going to hit. But it's you got to be tough all the way up and down the lineup. You just can't forfeit an inning. Every 3rd inning, you just can't go on 1, 2, 3 every 3rd inning. So we got to work in the bottom of the lineup and then just get it rolling.
How unique, Coach, are you going to be stacking your lineups with this Florida trip? It sounds like not only with the workload is your depth going to be important, but it sounds like you want to develop them a lot as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, it's getting ready for conference season basically, but you still want to win those games. But our lineup, it shifts a little bit each way, each game. Who's hot, who's seeing the ball well. Like we knew going into this weekend, Sarah Nix was going to be good. We moved her up a couple notches, and she came through for us. We kind of play a game. Before the game, on the trip or in the hotel room, I ask all my assistant coaches to fill out their lineup, who's starting defensively, and a batting order. And Coach Mueller, he's so close to getting it right all the time. I think this last game he only missed 1 defensive spot because, you know, your flex can pinch run for your DP. So we try and have a flex that can run. So if your DP is Ashley Hill, you can come in and run with Jen Spencer, who's the flex. Or the next game you might want someone else that's a flex. And maybe Sarah Nix is your DP if you're going to rest her as a catcher, because you always want to have that maneuverability. And our lineup, we've got some options this year. Of course, we don't have a lot of those injuries that we had last year quite yet. Keep your fingers crossed. But we have a chance to have a really good lineup. But the thing is, if our pitchers don't get healthy, it's going to be a long year because our conference is so loaded. And Cornejo and Spencer are good, really good D2 pitchers. But if we can't use them much, you know, we could be in trouble. So really the key is getting our pitching staff healthy and keep improving every day as a defense and as a lineup. So when we go to Florida, we'll be tinkering with the lineup like we do all season long, but hopefully we can get some good innings out of our 1 and our 2.